Joining us right now, Varun Mehta, the Chief Financial Officer at Sadbharv Infra Projects, and Raghav Chandra, former chairman at NHAI, both joining us on the show right now. Gentlemen, morning. Mr. Chandra, if I could start off the discussion with you really, what is it that you're making of the monetization program for TOT projects which are operational and have all the toll revenue generation history for 1 year?
I think it's a very positive development, and government had been trying to ramp up the TOT process to be able to garner funds for NHAI. At the larger level, it fits in with the disinvestment goal of the government. At a more specific NHAI level, NHAI badly needs funds, and it also needs to give away projects to private maintainers and private operators, projects which have been completed by it earlier under the EPC and the BOT annuity model, where it is NHAI which collects the toll. Certainly the capacity of the private sector to collect tolls is more efficient. The capacity of the private sector to be able to bring in efficiencies of scale in maintenance of roads is much better. So it's a very, very positive development, and the two changes that have been made should be good for the NHAI and good for the sector.
Okay, Mr. Mehta, let's get in your take as well. Do you think that what we're seeing here is increasing the set of assets now for monetization?
Yeah, I think I agree with the view of Mr. Raghav Chandra because the way they have changed the norms, so I think definitely there can be an increase in the number of projects awarded by NHAI under the TOT model. Because the first change is definitely basically the change in the number of years basically before which they can start the TOT. So now it has been changed from 2 years to 1 year. And also the number of the life of the concession period can be reduced to 15 years. So I think with this definitely there can be a good interest from the potential investors. And I think going forward definitely we can see that a lot number of projects will be awarded by NHAI. And also there will be a good interest from various players, because right now we have seen almost around 3 to 4 players only bidding in this TOT projects. But I think with this change there can be an increase in number of bidders also for these projects.
Okay, fair enough. And do you think that the fund issues at NHAI and the financial closure of various projects is one of the key reasons for the slowdown of NHAI ordering? And that question's for you, Varun.
Yeah, I think this is one of the reasons, because obviously NHAI, I think they are looking for the long-term money, because they have been raising money from LIC, SBI and various other financial investors. But obviously this will go in a long way basically to provide a long-term equity money. So I think this is one of the reasons. But I think the second reason is also that because they have awarded many projects in last year, so right now they are in the process of completing the land acquisition and the various other approvals and the utility shifting. So I think right now the work is going on so that those projects which have been awarded, so probably they can start the construction on that. So I think these two factors are important, so that probably once basically we can see some movement, and I think definitely positive movements is happening in these factors. So I think definitely there will be a good amount of bidding which we are expecting to start from next month onwards.
Mr. Chandra, let's talk about NHAI, considering you've been at the helm of the organization previously. A lot of concerns have been raised about Indian debt being 4 times for NHAI versus what it was back 4 years back, that is. How do you think this problem or this concern can be addressed?
The first, maintaining what we began with the raising of funds through asset monetization. These two changes, COD +2 to COD +1, and from 30 years to make it flexible to 15 or 30 up to 30 years. those are both very reasonable changes, and because there used to be always a problem that some roads they needed capacity augmentation, and as a result of which you could only bid them out for a certain number of years. But now increasingly you need to bid out more roads. Therefore, this kind of flexibility in concession period is a very positive step. So TOT should happen more positively and should give more funds to NHAI. So that is the first step in that direction of decreasing its debt burden. The second is that government must also be more proactive in larger budgetary provisions for NHAI, especially from the cess funds. And that has been, in my perception, that has been perhaps not increasing commensurate with the scale of work that NHAI is doing, and may perhaps even be decreasing. So the cess funds have to be wholeheartedly, in a very focused way, in a concentrated way, given to NHAI without any sense of apology that you are doing NHAI either a favor or that you are depriving other sectors, because NHAI's main task is to create roads effectively, to do the highway operations effectively, and it is not really in the market to raise funds like a public sector corporation. That's what distinguishes NHAI from any other PSU, because it is an authority and vested with a certain mandate of the government to create roads expeditiously, that it has been undertaking things like masala bonds and various other things. It has been raising funds from LIC and EPFO and State Bank. All that is well, but those are measures of last recourse. The first recourse has to be budgetary provisions. And TOT, of course, is a very, very positive step in that direction. The third is that NHAI must also not be in a hurry to start new projects until and unless it is absolutely sure that it has adequate land, it has adequate facility management to be able to remove the electric and other installations, and to be able to give a project which is ready to undertake. And along with this is also a general sense of managerial, focus, which NHAI on its own must look inwards and attend to and ensure that it does its job better.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today and taking us through some of the developments in this space.